If you are a first grade teacher or a kindergarten teacher and you're being asked to introduce vowel teams in your classroom, according to whatever curriculum you're using, you can go into this chart and just take out the pieces, the ones that the child is being asked. So if the child is being introduced into, there's a book or whatever the lesson is that's coming up that includes AI or AY or AU and AW, just take those pieces of the chart out. Create your own vowel teams chart that just has the pieces on it that you know the children are going to be asked to read, or that they have been asked to read. So if you know that EY key E is in the words that the child's being asked to read, but EY as A isn't, then take that out. If they're not being asked to read EIGH, take that out. If they don't read any EI, they, and A words, take it out. Take this chart, cut it apart, and make a chart that works with the curriculum that you're using today with the children in your classroom. All right, you can even include what's on this chart with maybe some of the things that are on the blends chart that you know your children really would benefit from practicing from, like maybe the 3-letter blends or SQU or silent, where there's a silent letter, maybe it's the H brothers, and craft your own chart that fits the needs of your classroom right now. Okay? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and tap our chart, and the way we're going to do it is the exact same way we've always done it. So let's just do it. I'm going to do it. We're going to do it call and response. And when I teach this chart to children, they've already tapped all the other charts. But I'm going to remind them that we are using our finger on the chart because that's how we are going to connect ourselves to get our brain to pay attention to what it is that we're doing and get our eyes to look at the letters. That's a key piece of this. All right, so I'm going to do it and then you. Ready? A, I paint A. A, Y, hey, A. A, Y, hey, A. A, U, August, ah. A, U, August, ah. A, W, saw, ah. A, W, saw, ah. I'll slow down a little bit. E, A, wheat, E. E, A, wheat, E. E, A, bread, eh. E, A, bread, eh. That's eh, like a short E. E, A, great, A. E, A, great, A. Did you know E said 3 different sounds? This one is the one that's most common. You can tell because there's a 1 right here. And then this one's second most common. This one doesn't show up in very many words, but it does show up in a lot of words that show up in early readers. E, A, great, A. Next, E, E, teeth, E. E, E, teeth, E. E, I, ceiling, E. E, I, ceiling, E. Both of those say E, don't they? Yeah. E, I, vein, A. E, I, vein, A. And you see again here, and I'm telling you guys this, I don't always stop and do all this when I'm teaching the chart to the children. I do it on the second or third or fourth pass, make all these distinctions. But just remember that this 1 and this 2 means first choice sound and second choice sound. Okay? E, I, G, H, 8A. E, I, G, H, 8A. E, W, screw, oo. E, W, screw, oo. E, Y, key, E. E, Y, key, E. E, Y, they, A. E, Y, they, A. Now, we use people twice, right? So this is they with 3. And then over here, we have 2 people, and it's them. This is them, them, and this is they. They is often taught as a puzzle word. I mean, a sight word or a high frequency word or a word that's not decodable. Is they decodable? They is decodable. It's th and EY, they, A, where EY says A. Fully decodable words. In the Dolch word lists for first, second, and third grade, or the first 220 words, I think there are like 22 words that aren't decodable out of the 220. Here we are. You ready? This is a thief. He's not a robber. He's a thief. I-E, thief, E. I-E, thief, E. I-E, tie, I. I-E, tie, I. I-G-H, high, I. I-G-H, high, I. O-A, boat, O. O-A, boat, O. O-E-to-O, O-E-to-O, O-I coin oi, O-I coin oi, O-Y toy oi, O-Y toy oi, O-O moon oo, O-O moon oo, O-O book O-O book O-U cloud ow, O-U cloud ow, O-U soup oo, O-U soup oo, O-W cow ow, O-W cow ow, O-W snow o, O-W snow o, U-I fruit oo, U-I fruit oo, U-E blue oo, U-E blue oo, U-E rescue you, U-E rescue you, A-R car R, A-R car R, O-R orange or, O-R orange or, E-R flower E-R flower I-R first I-R first You-R church You-R church Now you notice these are in a box. These are called R controlled vowels, where the R is bossy and makes the vowel say a different sound. I always call them bossy R's, but that's why they're here. And everything else here is a vowel team. Some of these are diphthongs. We don't care. We are only interested in the child being able to say, oh, I says oi. That's the goal. So the way we're going to help that child be able to see those letters and say that sound, know that sound, is by doing the chart tapping. You can make the game board that Elaine showed earlier for kindergarten, where it had the, let me show it for people that didn't see, the game board like this, where there's a start and a stop, and we had the pictures from the first chart. Could you do a game like this using the squares from the team's chart and let the children play, where they have their guys on their start and they have, you can use a dice, but we had cards that had 1, 2, or 3 on them. And the children move forward and they tap. So they go move forward and they go S sense. Well, if this was the team chart, they would move forward and go I forgot what it is. I coin oi. So you can use the same instructional strategy of making game boards with your other charts. That's just fine. And give children an activity that they can do independently. Go Fish works really well. And, we gave you access to Go Fish games where this is on one card and this is on another card. And the child would go, I have AI. Do you have paint? But another teacher said that she just put the whole square, blew up the chart, and then put the whole square on card. So there are 2 AI squares and 2 AY squares. So they just do Go Fish of getting matches of the chart. We're doing a lot of teaching about how to do that with the first chart, but those same instructional strategies work for the blends or parts of the blends chart, and they work really well for the teams chart. So be mindful of that as you're thinking about the ways to use those ways to use these charts. This is one tool, and there's a lot of different techniques that you use. And that being said, too, people were talking about that one of the things that worked really well in the classroom at Holland Elementary was the teachers blowing the charts up to make them poster size and then putting those charts on the wall. Why is that helpful to the child? Well, there's a lot of focus and interest in creating sound walls instead of having word walls. So having the charts on the wall is a sound wall. You've just created a sound wall by making a large picture of the chart that the child is tapping individually. And when you put it up on the wall, now you have a place for the child to be able to reference that information. But think about when you're in the classroom about having those charts up on the wall and how you can invite the children to access that information throughout the day for both reading and spelling. That when they don't have their chart in front of them, they don't have to get their chart out. They can just look up on the wall and go, what was it that said ooh? Oh, yeah. Oh says ooh. That's the one that I've been taught. That's the one I'm working with. And they get to use that schema to store all of this information. And what happens is that after the kids tap these charts over and over and over again, they have internalized them. And what happens is that they no longer need to look at the chart. They look at the chart in their mind's eye, go to the square and tap it and retrieve the information. Do you hear that? When they tap the charts over and over again, they actually create their own mental image. They're able to store that whole chart in their mind as a picture and then go to the squares they need and tap them. Now,
the first grade teachers at PreK Elementary told me that the children would look up and find it on the chart when they couldn't read a word, because they had been tapping the charts and they knew what they looked for, that UE, and they found it on the chart, and that helped them to be able to read.
Yeah, that's what Elena's saying, is the place where she was a reading and dyslexia specialist for 10 years. That was the strategy that was used with the chart tapping way back. This was like 90s, right?
2000. Well, 2000.
2000. That when you take the chart that you've already connected the child to, and you put that chart up on the wall, that child already has the familiarity with it, that positionally they know where to go in the chart to find the information they're looking for. And that's one of the pieces to be asking yourself with whatever you're putting on the wall is, can the children access it? How am I connecting the children to what's on the wall? Are we using it all day, every day to inform our reading and our spelling? All right. So just be mindful of those questions, because those are the questions that help you to go, how can I create the simplest process for the children? Because we know as adults, we could come up with 25 different things to do to bring to the child, all the different ideas that are out there. But in fact, the child really benefits from us clearing away the extra bits and just bringing them the core piece that they need in order to read and to spell. Actually simplifying it for them helps to reduce the clutter, right? They don't have so many things to think about. They have one thing to think about or two things to think about. So keep chewing with that on that idea as we move forward.